Okay, so first let me explain these different types of files. Okay, then we can move on to the first. Let's have this as a doubt clearing session for Navisux. Okay, so once this is done, we can continue forward. Okay, so I hope everyone are working. Is there any students like college students, or everyone are working?
Working.
We are working.
Okay, good. Okay, so first let me open Revit. So I hope everyone knows how to export an NWC file, right? Does anyone know? Don't know how to export? Just like feel free to say no. Like don't need to worry about it. Okay, if you don't know, just say
Could you
no.
please tell it one more time because I haven't watched the video
Okay.
recording.
Okay. So what about others? What about Ankita?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do you know the difference between the NWC, NWF, and NWD file?
No, sir. I haven't practiced any thing about Navis work because I haven't installed it yet. So
Mm-hmm. Okay. No issues. So you can see it today. Because this is the basic thing. Okay, so that's why I asked this question, so we can have this as a doubt clearing session today. So I would suggest you to take notes so that you don't get forgot, like, okay. So while you are listening in the class, you may feel like okay, that's it, but you may forget afterwards. Okay, so just take
Excuse me,
a
sir.
paper pen and take a note. Yeah.
Sir, my version of Revit is 2020.
Sorry.
My Revit version is 2020,
Okay.
120,
Okay.
and Navisworks is 2019.
That is not an issue. You can use like any Navisworks version, like, because in Revit we cannot downgrade, but in Navisworks it doesn't matter. You can even open it 14 or 16 or maybe 21. That doesn't matter. Okay.
So today I was trying to open Revit file, one of my practice test Revit file.
Okay.
It was not opening, like it was saying nothing. It was not opening.
What was it saying?
It was not loading or I wrote it. It was saying like that. Just one line.
Okay, no issues. After the class, you can share your screen and show me. Okay, I'll check it. Okay. So this is just a sample Revit file. Okay. So before you are exporting into a Navisworks file, you have to just create a 3D view of the elements that you want to export. Okay. So for an example, you can see this is a default 3D view available in this project. So everyone knows this is a sample Revit project, right? From the Autodesk. So in this 3D view, I want to turn on and turn off all the elements that I want to export. Okay. So to export, go to file, export, and you can see you have this option called NWC, right? But this option is not a default thing. You have to download the Navisworks exporter first. So do you guys aware of it, about the exporter?
yes, sir.
Yeah, where but I downloaded. Got
Okay.
it now.
Okay. So first you have to download the exporter, and then you can have this option called export to NWC, right? So I'm just exporting this. I'll put it in the desktop. So NWC, so C stands for cache file. Okay, so it's a NWC file, which is in the Navisworks cache file. So these are the files which we can, like, oops, you can see here. I'm just appending this. Okay, so now we have appended a Navisworks cache file, right? So we can do all the things that we want to do here. Okay, but we have to, like, if you are appending 2 or more files means that will become a F file. Okay, so for an example, I'll just open a new one. Okay, so what you're seeing here is the NWC file. So this is an architecture file, this is an electrical file, firefighting, mechanical ducting, plumbing, and structure. Okay, so I'm just appending all the NWC files. Okay, because while we are working in a project, we'll be working with different stakeholders. So each one will be working on different disciplines, right? So we'll be getting this NWC from the other stakeholders. Like for an example, if I'm working for the mechanical means, I'll be getting the architecture file from the architect and the structure file from the structure engineer, right? Okay, so now we have appended all these files. So once we appended all the NWC files, we'll be doing all the clash detections and all the things that we want to do here. We'll be working, right? But you have to save this file, right, while you're working. So how would you save? In which format will you save? You cannot save it as a NWD file. The reason is NWD is a documentation file. So once you convert it into a D means that's it, that is done. So the documentation file has to be done only at the end. Okay, are you getting, like, once the clash detection is running and once all our work is done, only then we can convert it into a Navisox documentation file. So that is the way we are using the NWF file. So I'm just giving save as. I'm giving the desktop. So here, when you drop this down, you can see the NWDF and only D and F. C is the file which is exporting from the Revit. Okay, so I'm giving NWF file. Click save. Okay, so now we can see here it says untitled.nwf, right? Navisox file. So this is the file, this is our working file. Okay, so in this we'll be running all our clash detections. I hope everyone are aware of the clash detections, right? So you can just select the disciplines. So like I'm just selecting electrical and firefighting. Just give a run. We can rename this to EL versus firefighting level 1, or else let it be. Okay, so we have all the clashes here, right? But when I click this, I cannot see the clashes properly. So what can we do? Anyone? Does anyone know what to do next after running the clash detection?
Do we have to make selection sets?
No, what I asked is I want to, when I click this clash, I cannot see the clash here, right? Can you
Yes,
see the
yes.
clash? No, I cannot see the clashes here. So what we have to do if I want to see this clash means?
I haven't watched much of the videos, so I can't remember it.
Okay, so you haven't watched the videos, but at least you could have remembered something from the class, right? Does no one remember anything?
So turn into wireframe.
Okay, how to do that?
So that I don't know.
Okay, no issues, I'll be telling you. So once we have completed this clash detection, you can see these clashes and the number of clashes, right? 15 clashes are here. So first you have to select all these clashes. So click the first one and click shift and select the last one so that you can able to select all the clashes. Okay, so once all these clashes are selected, here you can see this option called group selected clashes, right? So what it says, combines the selected clashes into a group. So click this and you can see there's a group of all the clashes. Okay, So we can even rename this to the date of, let's say today's date, or 19. Okay. So we can have this in today's date. Okay, so in this date we have these many clashes. Fine. But still I cannot see any clashes here. So here you can see this option called isolation. So one is dim others, one is hide others. So when I click this hide others, you can see now we can able to see all the clashes. When I click each and every clashes, it just automatically taking me to that area. Or else if I click this whole group, I can see the total clashes. So it's very easier for us to identify these clashes. So we can click this one, like what's the element? This one right here is an electrical. Okay, so it's a conduit. So this one is a fire protection. You can see the name. Or else you can just turn on this selection tree here. So when you click any element, it just shows, okay, conduit without fitting. And when you click this, it says hydro pipe. So you can just go here and see this. It's a firefighting. You can see fire protection. So like this, we can select. So one is hide others, another one is dim others. So when you click this dim others option, you can see all the other elements will be in gray color. I'm turning to hide other again. Okay, fine. So now we have the clashes. So how to resolve these clashes? Anyone? We found all the clashes between electric and firefighting. How to resolve it?
Going back to Revit and then resolving it.
Okay, so how will you find this particular conduit in Revit? We have, this is a whole a big area, right? You have to find this particular clash in Revit. How will you do it?
I don't know.
No one? Okay, I'll tell you. So when you select any element here, okay, so I'm just selecting this conduit. So when we select this, you can see here in this selection inspector, there is a property called element ID, right? And it has a value, right? So click this ID, click Ctrl C in the keyboard. So we have copied this element ID. Next, you have to go back to your Revit and here go to manage, and under this manage you can see select by ID. Okay, so click this option, just Ctrl V the copied element ID and click show. But here you can see this is not working because the file which I am opened here is not matching with here, right? These are not same projects, so that is the problem. So first you have to identify the element ID from the Navisworks like this. Select the element ID, go back to the Revit, find it, and you can solve the clashes in Revit, and then export again to NWC, append it, and check whether the clash is solved or not. Okay, so you have to do this process again and again till the clash is resolved. Okay, is that clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is one method, and another method is switchback. But in some cases, this option might not work. That you have to try it on your own and see. So for that, first go to add-ins. Okay, and here you can see this external tool. Click this, and you can see this says Navisworks switchback, right? So turn to switchback. Okay, so let me close this one, and we can open the file which we exported right now, which is this, I guess, not this one. Yeah, this one. here let's say that I want to find any particular element. Okay, let's say that you want to find this particular element. So click this, copy the element ID, go back to the Webbit, go to manage, select by ID, paste it, click show. Okay, no good views found. Click OK and click BX so that you can able to create a 3D view of that. Oops, of that element. Okay, it's not showing. In some cases these small elements might not be showing, so in that case we have to choose the nearby big element. So for next one I'm selecting this wall, Control C and come back to your Webbit, manage, search, show, click OK, and now you can see it is showing this exact wall. So this is the wall which we selected behind the TV, right? So this is a very small building, so we can easily identify like this. But if it's very big building, it has a number of levels, means you cannot go and search. You don't need to waste your time searching for the particular element that needs attention, right? So you can just find the element ID, come back to Webbit, search by element ID, and you will get that exact area. Now you can go to 3D view and you can check, yeah, this is the wall which we have selected here, right? You can see this wall. And another method is switchback. So for that, right click this and you can see this, yeah, you can see this option called switchback. So click this, and sometimes in the Revit a screen will pop up to show the exact area. As I said, this will not work in most cases, but in some cases this will be working. For an example, we can select some other elements like I'm selecting this column, right click, switchback, no, it's not coming. As I said, in some case only that this option will work, but most of the cases will be working with the element ID. Okay, so now you guys know how to find an element in Revit which needs attention, right? You have to just select it, find the element ID and do it. But imagine what if this palette is missing. Okay, now there is no selection inspector, right? So how to open that tab? You can see here it says selection inspector, right? This lens icon. So click this. So once you click this, you can get the selection inspector. So what if like you want some other more properties other than the element ID? You can click this quick property definition. Okay, and this tab opens. So here you can just add the parameters. Like for an example, you want let's say you want the category of that family, and let's say you want the material detail, or what type of parameters you want. So all these things you can just assign it here. If you want any, like when you're selecting element, you want to find what material it is, means you can just give it and give OK. In this case, you can see this material and the categories are not showing because these details are missing in the Revit. So if you want these details to be shown in the Navisworks, means you have to input these datas in the Revit first. So only then, while exporting, you can able to get all these values in Navisworks. Okay, and there's an option while exporting. Okay, so when you export this, you can see this Navisworks settings. So you guys know about this one? Navisworks settings, or you want me to explain?
So please explain it.
Okay, so go to this Navisworks settings, and here you can see there are some options like convert construction parts, convert element IDs, convert element parameters, element properties, convert lights, etc., etc., etc. If you uncheck this one, like convert element IDs, if you uncheck this one and if you export means when I select any element in Navisworks, this element ID option will not be available. Okay, so you should always make sure that this go to settings and okay, it's not responding. You have to go to settings and you have to make sure this convert element ID is checked. Okay, so like that, if you want any other properties that should be shown in the Navisworks means you have to make sure turn it on. Okay, so that's the reason I showed this. It's not responding right now. Okay, we can wait. Okay, it's okay. So this element ID and okay, you want to export the current view or the entire project or the selection. Okay, you can just select some particular elements and you can just export only the selected elements, or else the current view means whatever the elements visible in this view, everything will be exported, or the not this one, or the entire project. Okay, and like this okay, this is the file reading. So there's nothing to do with the DECN files, so let it be the default. And you can choose like which units you want to export. Okay, you can choose it here, and what color it should be, the selection, the word, some basic things which you can check here, etc., etc. Okay, cancel. Okay, now I'll open the previous file. We have one F file, right? I'll just open that one. Yeah. Okay, so this is our F file, which is our working file, and it has a set of NWC files, right? Okay, so once all our work is done, you have to save as a NWD file. Okay, this is the documentation file, and the difference between F and D file is that F file doesn't have any data. Okay, so in this F file we have linked all the NWC files, right? So what this F will do is it just reads the path of the NWC file. Okay, so like if I'm sharing this NWF file with any of you guys means that is useless, because this EF file will read the path of this C file. Okay, so right now this C file path is in my system, so even if I share this NWF file, that is useless. So once all the work is done, we have batched all the clashes, we have created all the viewpoints, and once everything is done, and when we are submitting this to the client, we have to save it as a documentation file, save as NWD file, save. So once NWD is saved, it is called a federated model. So federated model in the sense it contains all the NWC files within a single document. Now you can see there is only one NWD. When I open this, you can see there is a lot of NWC inside this NWD. I hope now you guys know the difference between the NWC, NWF, and NWD file, right? Any question
Yes, sir.
regarding this? Is it clear for everyone? Ankita, Fiaz, Mohammed, Tanushri,
Yes, sir.
everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So once we are working in a project, I'll just show you some the files that we are managing here. So okay, So here you can see there are some in this one of the project we have these AF files, C files, folder. Okay, so actually, as I said, we should not like the NWEF file just reads the path of the C file. Okay, so it doesn't have any data within it. So it's very important to maintain this folders properly. Okay, so I'll just give an example from this project itself. So this is one of the electrical project that we are working here in Technostrate. Okay, and you can see we have a folder for the NWC files, right? So when I open this, we can see level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6, and these are basement file. You can see it says BS and EOG, basement and underground. Okay, so when I open this level 1, I can see I have all the NWC files within this folder. Okay, so electrical, so only this is the file which I am working. So this architecture, firefighting, mechanical ducting, plumbing, and the structure files, all these files I'll be getting from the client. Okay, so first I'll be appending all these files and I'll be saving an NWEF file. That is here you can see level 1 NWEF file. So you can see there is one D file and F file, file set and documentation file. Okay, so this F file reads this path, right? So it's very important to maintain this. So every week we'll be having a coordination meeting with our client. Okay, so this happens once or twice a week. So all the stakeholders will be attending the meeting, and in that meeting we'll be discussing about the clashes that are in the project. Okay, so for an example, if there's a clash between mechanical ducting and a firefighting pipe means, who will be the responsible for to resolve the clashes? Is it a ducting guy or the firefighting guy? Right, we will be having this doubts, everything, right? So that is why we'll be having a coordination meeting. So in this meeting we will be running the class detection between all the services, and we will assign the certain works to certain subcontractors, okay, certain stakeholders. Like for an example, as if a lighting fixture is clashing with a duct, if it is possible to move the lighting fixture, we will ask the electrical guy to move the lighting fixture to avoid the clash. Okay, or else he may say that if we cannot change the position, that may affect the design. So in that case, we will ask the mechanical guy to move your duct so that we can avoid the clash. So these things will be happening. So after the meeting, we will be receiving all the NWC files from the different stakeholders. Okay, the architectures, firefighting, mechanical ducting, plumbing, all these files. Okay, you have to paste all that NWC file in this same path. Okay, the reason I'll tell you. So first let me open this NWF file here. Okay, so I have opened the NWF file. Okay, so my working file. We can go to this clash detection, and in this clash detection, you can see here. When I open this, you can see I have already run some clashes, right? Like architecture versus mechanical, architecture versus firefighting, architecture versus plumbing, structure versus mechanical, structure versus firefighting, structure versus plumbing. Similarly, mechanical versus all others, firefighting versus all others, electrical versus all others. Okay, so I have already created some clashes like this. Okay, so imagine that I'm just working on this file. I'm just finding all the clashes. I just solved all the clashes. Okay, so today is Friday. So let's imagine that we are having a meeting with our all the stakeholders today. Once the meeting is done, we'll be getting the updated NWC files. Like we are solving the clashes, right? So similarly, other stakeholders, they will be also solving all the clashes. So there will be a change in the model, right? So we want the latest Navisox file from the other stakeholders. So that will be having a common data environment in the cloud. So everyone will be uploading their latest NWC files, so we can able to access it. Okay. So once we download all these NWC files, you have to paste all that NWC files in the exact path which we have stored already. Because as I said, the F file will just read the path of this file. Okay, so you have to replace with the same name, you have to replace in this folders. Okay, so once that is done, you can see there is an option called update all. You can see there's an option called update all. Okay, so once you click this update all, now I cannot give this. Okay, so once I give this update all, what it will do is it will just find all the new clashes which is not from the previous clashes. Okay, as I said, every stakeholders will be change their models, right? So the new clashes after the changes happens, so those clashes will come separately. So here you can see the status. It shows the clashes, the new clashes, the active clashes, the reviewed, approved, resolved, all these things, right? So once you give update all, you can see this. Imagine this architecture is mechanical, has 18 clashes as of now. Okay, so when I give update all, this 18 will move to the old, and the clashes other than this 18, the new clashes, that will be shown here. Like for an example, if there is only 2 clashes, means that will show 2 clashes, which is the new clash. Okay, and here you can see I have just created some groups based upon the date. You can see 2023 5 2022 20, like all the dates. So all the date wise will be creating the clashes. So I know in this date we have these many clashes. Okay, so next I'll be pasting all the NWC. I'll give update all. Next I'll just find all the new clashes and I'll group them and I'll give the date of it. Similarly, this process will happen again and again and again till we solve all the clashes. Is it confusing, or are you getting what I'm saying? You want me to repeat again?
Yes, sir, it's a little bit confusing.
Okay. So is this clear for everyone? You have to maintain the C file and the F file path. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as I said, we'll be having a coordination meeting once in a week. So after this meeting, we'll be getting all the C files from the other stakeholders, right? So as I said, in this project, we are working for electrical, so the mechanical, firefighting, plumbing. From that stakeholders, we'll be receiving these files. Okay, so once those files we received from them, we have to rename to exactly this name and we have to replace in this folder. Okay, once we have replaced in this folder, we have to open the NWF file and you have to give update all. Okay, which means I'll tell the same example again. The architecture is this mechanical has 18 clashes previously. Okay, so after the meeting, I am replacing the new C file, new NWC file. And when I give update all, it will find the new clashes other than the previous old clashes. This 18 clashes it will not consider. It will consider the new clashes after the changes that happened in the model. Okay, so for an example, if this duct is moved a little bit here, like this. Okay, if this duct is moved like this and there is a new clash here, means it will not show this old clash, it will just show the new clashes. So what we will do, we will group all the new clashes and we'll just give a date. You can see the date of it. Okay, so you can just go to the date wise and we can find what all the clashes in this date we have solved. Okay, so if I open this group, this date means I can see there are lots of clashes here. And if this clash is resolved, I can just change the status. You can see, is it new or active or reviewed or approved or resolved? I can change to active. You can change the color, changes to orange because that is the color for the active. I can change to reviewed, so that is the color blue for reviewed. I can change to approved, which is green, or I can change to resolved, that is yellow. So once you're working in a cloud, so many people will be working in a project, right? So like 2-3 people will be working on the same project, same class detection. So you can just update it. So like I'm just giving result. Resolved means the other guy, he knows, okay, this clash is resolved already, so he will not worry about it, right? Or else we can just give to reviewed or approved clashes. Some clashes that cannot be solved in Revit. Okay, so those kind of clashes, they will be solving in the site itself. So those clashes, they will be giving approved to those clashes. Okay, so there's some areas that cannot be resolved in Revit, but that can be done in site. So those kind of clashes will be giving approved clashes, which means these clashes are approved, that will be rectified in the site. Okay, so like this we can able to create all these things. As you are updating here, these things will be updating here also. Okay, you can see the resolved, approved, etc, etc, etc. Is this clear?
So your screen isn't visible.
My screen is not visible for everyone.
Yes, sir, your screen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just a minute, let me share again. Okay, so how about
Yes, sir, it's visible now.
Okay, so there was a glitch in Microsoft Teams. It happens sometimes. Okay, so no problem. Okay, so now is it clear for everyone about the C, F, and D, and
Yes,
how
sir.
these processes are happening
Yes, sir.
for everyone? Is
Yes,
there,
sir.
any, is there anything else you guys want to know about Navisox? Any doubts?
Sir, could you please tell me about the quantification part?
Okay, so was that part covered?
Yes, sir.
Was the quantification part covered already?
Yes, it was covered, but
Okay.
I
So quantification, as the name says, it is used to take the quantities from a Navisox model. Okay. So you can see this option here. You can click this and the tab opens like this. Okay. So okay. So first you need to do the project setup. Okay. So would you like to view quantification tutorial? No, because I'm going to show you. So, but you can watch it. Okay. Okay. So first there are some like catalogs available. Okay. So just some catalogs like your CSI 1648 or Uniformat. Okay. Or you can use none. Okay. So the catalog in the sense it just has some folders and subfolders where you can just create a set of elements and drop into it. Okay. Or else if you want to create a new catalog, that can also be done. You have to create a new catalog and click browse and choose the catalog that will be in XML file. Okay, so first you have to create a catalog in the XML file and select it, or else you can use the default thing. So in this case I'll just show you both, like the none and the Uniformat. So first I'm selecting the Uniformat. Okay, then select the units, imperial, metric, or whatever it is, and what all the properties that you want: length, width, thickness, height, perimeter, area. If you want, check it, or else uncheck it. Click next, finish. Okay, so once that is done, you can able to see. So this is the catalog of Uniformat, like substructure. Under the substructure you have this foundation, and under this foundation you have the standard foundation, special foundation, slab on grade. So these are all the catalog of the Uniformat. Okay, so you have to create a set of elements. Like for an example, if you want to create, take the quantity of the standard foundation, means select all the standard foundation elements, create a group set of it. So I hope everyone are aware of creating save selection. Like, are you aware of it? Save selection.
yes, sir. Sir told us.
You can select some certain elements and you can just click save selection. So those all elements will be saved. So once that is done, you can just go to the selection, save selection. You can go to, okay, as there's no selection saved here, so that is why you cannot see it here. Or sometimes it will show sets, okay, which is the save selection. You can just drag and drop the save set to this particular area, okay, and you can able to get all the details. But these details are to be in the if the details are like if the detail is missing in Revit, that will not come in Navisource. Or else if you're exporting without selecting the convert all the elements parameters, means that will not come in Navisource. So you have to make sure all the details are given in Navisource and you have exported all the elements. Like while exporting, you have just selected all the element properties. Okay, so after that you can just drag and drop all the save selection to this particular area, and then you can export it. Export catalog to XML or Excel. Okay, so this is Uniformat. But what if I used, okay, we cannot delete it. I'll just open a new one. Okay, so here I'm going to use none option. Okay, so before that, when I select all these elements here, when I right click, you cannot see there is no option for quantification here, right? Link, scene, viewpoints, but there is no option for quantification. That option comes only after you set up the project. Okay, that comes between link and scene somewhere else here. Okay, so first queue, I'm choosing none here this time. Okay, so I'm just selecting all the, let's say I'm selecting the mechanical element, right click, quantification, take off to new catalog item, or select corresponding takeoff objects. Okay, so click this. Now it's taking, and now you can see it just creates its own catalog here based upon the elements that are in this NWC file. You can see the pipe stirred, and you can see circle of influence, etc., etc. But you can see some values are in 0. That might be the problem while exporting. Okay, so you have to check that. And yeah, here you can see some of the details of the flex track. Yeah, you can see the model length. You can see the, actually you can see here the whole thing versus the separate thing. So what you're seeing in the bottom is just showing all the single elements. This building has a lot of flexible duct, right? So it is just showing each and every, this flexible duct is 0.815 meter. This one is 1.2 meter. This is 0.9 meter, 0.19 meter. This is 3 meter, etc., etc. Right? In some, for some ducts, it is missing. And the top, what you're seeing here is the total length of all these ducts. You can see the total length of all these ducts. And you can just export this into an Excel file. Let's say that if you're going to take a quantification of any what we can say, any air diffuser, air terminal. Okay, so you can just create a quantification of the air terminal, and you'll get all the quantities. You will get all the total area, total length, and all these details. And you can see the model length. You have the separate length versus the total length. You can go to the pivot table, and here you can able to see it, and you can do some calculations if you want here. That's it. But this quantification will be done in cases where the client doesn't have the option of Revit. Actually, the quantification, the quantity takeoff scheduling, that can be done in Revit very easily. Okay, so you guys know how to do the schedules, right? You can just create a new schedule, etc., and that is the easiest part. But the Navisox quantification will be done in places where the client doesn't have the Revit license, but he needs to take a quantification, means he will be using the Navisox file to do that. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions, anyone, regarding Navisox? I hope now you guys have a clear idea about NWC, NWF, NWD. C is a cache file, F is a file set, and D is a documentation file. So C is the file which we are exporting from the Revit. F is the file which we are working. It just reads the path of the C file. It doesn't have any data. Okay, so that you cannot share your F file. And if you move your C files also, the F file will not work. As I said, it just reads the old path. It will not track your file wherever you are moving. Okay, so it just reads the path. So if the file is not in that path, that's useless. So once the meeting is done, once you get all the NWC from the other stakeholders, you have to paste it in this exact same folder. Only then you can able to track all the old clashes and the new clashes. So you can, as I shown you, you can just create a group of all the clashes date wise, so then you can easily track all the clashes and make sure that all the clashes are resolved and nothing else is pending. Okay, and the D file is a documentation file. Once you have done all the thing, and once you created some viewpoints for the clashes, I haven't covered the viewpoints. I hope you guys are good with viewpoints, right? Do you know how to create viewpoints? Hello? Hello. Guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, so are you guys aware of creating viewpoints?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is the use of creating viewpoints?
Sir, different like we have in 3ds Max different viewports.
Mm-hmm.
So different viewpoints, we can give different work to uh, different people.
See, let me show you one thing. I'm just hiding this architecture and the structure. So if you find any clashes in this, like as I said, we are working for the electrical in this project, and you're finding that some clashes cannot be resolved by us. Okay, as I said, if there's a clash between electrical and mechanical, and we cannot solve the clashes unless the mechanical guy move his duct. Okay, so in that case, what we will do is, so let's imagine that there is some clashes here. Actually, this model is 90% clash free, but you can see here there's some clash. Okay. Okay. So you can see that this is a fire pipe. Okay. So this is the support, the hanger of the fire pipe, and this is the electrical conduit. So these are clashing with this. So imagine which is easier to solve this clash, to move the conduit or move the support. Obviously, is to move the support, right? Because this conduit is running in long run. You cannot move this to avoid this small clashes. So in that case, you can just move this support a little bit towards this side. If we can just select all these elements. Okay, I'll just simply show you. Go to item tools, click move, and move towards this axis. You can just place this element here so that we can avoid the clash, right? So what we can do is we have to create a viewpoint. So just go near that area, and when you're creating a viewpoint, you have to make sure all the elements are turned on. Okay, so now you can see we cannot give a viewpoint like this, so we have to make it down like this, and you have to show this clash with all the NWCs turned on. Okay, so now we can see this clash properly. Conduit versus this. So right click here, save viewpoint, say EL versus FP, go to review, just create some ellipse, and if you want to give any text, you can just give any text, blah blah blah, if you want, and right click this and give update. Okay, first you have to make this one, this, draw, right click and update. So now when I move outside of that element and when I click this one, it will just automatically take me to that particular area. So what I can do is then I can just export this viewpoint. You can see export viewpoint. I can just export this viewpoint into an XML file and I can send it to the fire piping guy so that he will import it. You can see there's an option called export and import. He will give import and select that XML file, and you can see this. I'll just show you. And just oops. Okay, we have this. I'm exporting this one in desktop. Okay, I'm deleting this, give import, and I'm just importing this one. Okay, so now I am somewhere else like this. Okay, so the fire piping guy, he's just importing the XML file. So when you click this, he gets to this area and he knows, okay, we have to solve this, and he will do it. So these viewpoints will be creating for all the clashes and all the areas that needs attentions. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's all for today's class. So if you have any questions, you can ask me now, or else we can end the session today.
Sir, I have one question apart from Navis work.
Mm-hmm.
We have been rushing through one software to another, but we haven't been told about the BIM processes and how the work flows. How do BIM companies go on with their projects, and what is the step-by-step procedure that they take to successfully complete the project?
Okay, so as I said, first we'll be like all the some companies, they do all the services together from the MAP architecture structure, everything. But in most cases, every companies will not do that. Okay, so as I said, so the general contractor, he'll be giving the subcontracting works to some subcontractors. Okay, so as I said, in this case, we are doing electrical. Okay, so first we'll be modeling as per our design. So once our modeling is done, we'll be going for the coordination meeting, and you all know what we'll do in the coordination meeting, right? And this process will happen again and again till the model is clash free. Okay, so this is the process, like we'll be modeling, and as per the client specification, if they need any detailed drawings or any particular formats, like then we'll be giving that as well. So what's your doubt in this BIM process?
Sir, I just wanted to know the procedure, how
Okay. Okay, so once you enter this internship, you will learn more about it. Okay,
okay,
the process, and actually, as I said, this is the process. First step is developing the design into a 3D model as per the LOD. So I hope you guys are aware of the LODs, right? So in which LOD it is, like LOD 300 or 350 or 400, you have to develop based upon the LODs, and then the coordination meeting happens to solve all the problems, and this will happen till the project ends. Once that is done, we will finalize all the drawing. We'll just create a bunch of all these files, and then we'll just close it. That's it. I'm just saying it very simple, but it will take a long time to solve all these clashes. Okay, even a small project will take long time to solve all these clashes and all these problems. In some cases, we may find that some clashes cannot be solved. So in that cases, what we will do means we will be we'll be having a design meeting. Okay, where the design engineers, they will be attending the meeting, and we will tell this is the problem. So we cannot solve this problem. There is no way at all. So in that case, the design engineer, he will change the design itself. Okay, and then we'll be getting the new design drawing. So as per the new design drawing, we have to do the changes in our model, and then we have to do the same process of coordination meeting again and again, and this continues. Okay,
okay,
is that clear?
yes, sir.
Okay, any other questions, anyone? Okay, I guess no. So just practice it, and actually there is no class on Monday, okay, because I'm off work on Monday. So our next class will be on Tuesday. Okay, so practice, and if you have questions, you can contact me in WhatsApp as well. Okay, so this is Pragdish signing off. Until we meet again next time. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.